everyone. I'm Christine Rose Polayo, and welcome to our WFWPI UN News Report. Thank you for tuning into WFWPI News, where we share our latest achievements and engagements from the United Nations in New York, Geneva, and Vienna. We start with our highlight event in July at the UNHU in New York. The month of July was full, with WFWPI hosting a side event during the High-Level Political Forum on July 11, 2024 at 9 a.m. in New York, themed People's Right to Participate in Development Cooperation as Key to Achieving SDG 13 Climate Action. This event emphasized the importance of community involvement in development cooperation to achieve the right to development and empower communities to lead their progress, with 75 online attendees exchanging knowledge and expertise to drive effective climate action, contributing to meaningful global change. From July 8 to 17, 2024, the HLPF, chaired by ECOSOC President Her Excellency Ms. Paula Narvaez, tackled critical global challenges and the 2030 Agenda. The forum emphasized the importance of the upcoming Summit of the Future, with UN Deputy Secretary General Her Excellency Ms. Amina J. Mohammed stressing the need to restore trust amidst global threats. The sessions highlighted poverty eradication, with concerns that 519 million people could remain in extreme poverty by 2030, and the gendered nature of poverty. The HLPF served as a bridge to the Summit of the Future, addressing pressing global issues. Despite progress in accessibility policies for people with disabilities, more efforts are needed to promote their inclusion in leadership roles. Strong partnerships, economic investments, inclusive digital transformation, training and modern policy tools are essential to achieve the SDGs by 2030. Proactive partnerships, education, and advocacy are vital for a more inclusive and sustainable future for all generations. In May, WFWPI participated in two major events at the UN Department of Global Communications, organized by the Civil Society Conference on the Summit of the Future. It highlighted the importance of preparing future generations by acting now. On May 9, WFWPI hosted an offsite event during the Civil Society Conference on the Summit of the Future in Nairobi, Kenya, on the topic Women's Economic Empowerment, Innovation, and Skills Toward Digital Transformation. The event was organized under the auspices of the UN Department of Global Communication in partnership with JCI North Jersey, Always Forward, and HBS Headway BPO of America. Speakers included Lizette Diaz, Vice President for Commercial Banking at Bank of America, Anupam Dutta, CEO of Headway BPO of America, and Priscilla Garza, WFWPI UN Representative in New York. The event was moderated by Dr. Susan Coney, International Vice President for Africa at WFWPI. WFWPI Director for UN Relations New York, Marley Barlaan, and UN Representative Rachel Beth Tamayo, Chapter President of JCI North Jersey, also extended a message for the youth. WFWPI UN Representative Julie Hatulan attended the in-person conference in Nairobi, Kenya. UN Secretary General Antonio Gutierrez acknowledged civil society's crucial role in addressing global problems such as crisis response, closing digital divides, and revitalizing the collective approach to peace and security. On May 23, WFWPI partnered with the Universal Peace Federation in hosting a high-level luncheon event at the UN Delegates Dining Room on the theme Peace and Prosperity in the Asia-Pacific. The event explored best practices in the Asia-Pacific region, addressing topics such as affirmative cooperation among nations, sustainable peace and development, and economic and cultural diplomacy to prevent imminent conflicts in the region. Presenters shared nonviolent conflict resolution mechanisms and initiatives designed for understanding and cooperation for regional interdependence and prosperity. Let's move to Geneva. The 4th Youth Peace Conference and Peace Accords took place on June 7 to 9, 2024 in Beirut, Lebanon. Organized by the WFWPI UN Office Geneva and the Youth and Students for Peace, Lebanon, included several Beirut higher education institutions. Contrary to beliefs that Lebanon's current situation precludes discussions on war and peace, the Geneva team discovered passionate youth eager to engage in peace building and problem solving within their communities. June 12, the 5th NGO-CSW Geneva Ambassadors Breakfast Briefing took place at the Volksboy restaurant, led by WFWPI President Caroline Henshin and the UN NGO Committee on the Status of Women Geneva. The event focused on women and men working together for gender equality, with informal discussions and preparations for the Beijing Plus 30 recommendations concerning the education and training of women. The Professional Academy on Human Rights and International Cooperation took place in Geneva from June 17th to 22nd, 2024, focusing on human rights issues and international cooperation. The program covered mechanisms of international cooperation, human rights and development, and the role of international development organizations and collaborative projects. Young professional leaders from 9 countries participated. On June 21st, during the 56th Human Rights Council, WFWPI President Caroline Hanschen, with the UN NGO Committee on the Status of Women Geneva, was invited by Peace Through Dialogue to speak at the side event. She spoke about the urgent issues faced by women and children in conflict and colonialism-affected areas. The event aimed to promote dialogue, improve understanding, and mobilize action to protect and empower women and children in conflict zones. The speakers included representatives from Pakistan, Kashmir, Afghanistan, and Zimbabwe. Voices of international advocates from the WFWP UK, the EU Parliament, and Widows for Peace contributed to the discussions. While some described heart-wrenching stories of failure to protect and violations of women and children in conflict, there were also commitments to solidarity among women and mothers. Proposals for the next event at the September session of the HRC were acknowledged. Lastly, for Vienna, this year, the WFWP UN Vienna team attended the Constructive Dialogues in April with the theme Smuggling of Firearms. June is about international cooperation and technical assistance, and July for Constructive Dialogue of Trafficking in Person and CD on Smuggling of Migrants. Constructive dialogues have been developed at the UN in Vienna with the consent of the governments. These dialogues provide an opportunity for stakeholders from civil society to share their inputs and experiences with government representatives. Each dialogue is preceded by a preparation day for NGOs and civil society representatives to meet among themselves and be briefed on the outcomes of the government working group discussion. On June 26, a group of young people aged 13 to 17, led by Mr. Stephen Ilo from Israel, visited Vienna. These children from Jewish, Druze, Arabic, and Christian backgrounds participated in a Model United Nations, discussing important issues as country representatives. After visiting the UN and the International Institute for Peace Policy, they joined the WFWP Vienna team. And Dr. Maria Riel shared the 32-year history of WFWPI and the Bridges of Peace initiative. The youth were moved by this, expressing hope in their ability to contribute to peace. The evening ended with a lively discussion on women's role in peace, education, and a presentation by Mrs. Jong Hei Hassinen on IAYSP activities, continuing the exchange over dinner. Viewers are encouraged to anticipate upcoming engagements, including the Summit of the Future and United Nations Day in October. WFWPI remains committed to empowering women and girls globally, creating partnerships for positive change. Thank you so much for listening to the WFWPI UN News. Until next time, with another set of amazing updates in Geneva, New York, and Vienna. You can look for a detailed read of the current news on our website, wfwp.org, under the UN Newsletter section. Until next time, this is Christine Bolayo. Thank you so much.